We are ashafo ne adofo so ye mamu nyina ajo mame mamu nyina akwa ababio emra the harvesters online network ewo Facebook enen so ya santena sebio emawo ajos no nkokra megidi yese otwade ampo nyankopon ada romanti oho ye me so me ho ye papa ene ye hyem ha de ese de ye ne da ne nen so ye ba be di nkomos no nkokra na dwumadie nkwawie de na wenya wo chefa wo mu esua de sua bebre reframe me nso so mafa me de ewo mu a ebeboa yen ewo ye dada asetena mu na enne nkomo a ye bedie ne di kan ye di bi pen na se ofa ye di kan no ewo Facebook wa nti obetimi akwa na wetie na wie ye ne part 2 no nso enende ye de beto aso ebiewu ye de amawo ye frame oba pa Ajua adobia enwumre de nyame adom yenye osofo a yene ni bedi nkomo osofo na kofi ni si osofo ni makofo short na chese yakọ ne ntentemo a we chaplain for a year public campus ministries ewo Southern Ghana Union Conference SDR so United so one day eba ne nyamesem yemfenwura school mu ba bia nti boys and girls there so for when you want ana also for my job
yeah adobia
bibia boko de
nyame hummo na so
nyame adom okrekra yemu nkaka okay so for en chere ho no ene ye bedi nkoma afa courtship ho am say ofan edi kan no ye hweye so for acheche mu a anamo ani pamienu pese wo mutu na chese kokko biwie aware mu e wo kwampa so e wo Kristo mu how we be underline word in Kristo mu I didn't sure every nti the akabio e na ye to aso na afi etimi aboa enti also for why crowd yankwa
ya ba ni ya ba
and one no okay so for yenhwe culture and asori no e ba no anamo aye tu e wo ye aware mu anasa ye courtship ni mu enti we say how does the culture influence how people approach courtship in Ghana?
Who say Bible no intia culture in general. But anytime a culture conflicted with principles of the Bible no na as I say Christopher yehwe na eba aware mu a who say ye papa ne mama no they have always meant well for omomofra e wa aware mu enti who say tete no ye betu nipa mana akoye ebusua no mu hwehwemu ebusua na oba ne ko ware wo mu be ma ne ko ware wo mu omutu anamo koye hwehwemu sometimes ene ema no yete the kind of hwehwemu no mkoye na du ba bia na I said discrimination ne de abamu ni ade but hwe ya ade esese ye hwe ni ye mpanimfo no omo kansem no mo ye omutu anamo bi omuntu no kwa o they may not have had the advancement aye when no they had their own way of checking to make sure say obenya warepa obenya okunupa na so obenya oyerepa what them tell say te wa ko hwese bia yare boni bi ewa abusua no mu a na ye even when you come for premarital counseling na answer na me share with premarital counseling na se no esa wo ye medical examinations no ukoye lab test ni na aba answer na ya shase na lab test na den ye hwe e bia yare boni bi anai bi including genetic compatibility of medical na meka ewo mu no say e bia me AA we AS what I say and am ye AS we SS ye warrior e mofra e be wo mu no be kosen e na ohaw be na betumi dia brɛ yen sa awofo ohaw be na betumi dia brɛ sam mofra no ene ade sa test no ehun hia what I say it be wo yetumi chechechechire mu ana wo hu say bia motokoso a e bia e de ohaw beba ana say bibi na efe mu atwem mu afim but her time a yede yes ade no say e bia ye ahweyie na beginning na ye na yesiesie na yehwe yede ye tu ye bia nka ndu sam pempen so na ede akomabubuo ne adeɛ no eba no enti ye culture nankasa no meant well for even ye nchirimba no ye na sometimes you feel say a kolo but entwa mu because ye wo modern way a ye no but say ye be call even asori no kra no ye kokohwe say bia osumesi so osi okọ asori wo asori A and asori B no ye kokohwe say ye no kra na o tell say enti ye ntumi nka say enne ye bre ne de ye betumi akohia ba o ntumi ka obi say obi hia ne de we yi ase obi something fine but ebi wo ha ye trivialize no ye man look like say it doesn't really matter but it does so unti ye culture na nkasa no e wo kwan ye fa so a etumi ma ye nya warepa I see ye bu ye ni gu so a ebetumi aha I'm looking at the positive aspect of it say that approach no ho still ye use but ye bi bu o ni gu so bu oni gu so a be say ya asori num say ya asori ye say ye ko asori num ko hwehwe wachi no so asori no say na say busua no so a omumpo na titiri aware ani gina omo so no na che say omo de so omumpo ye omo pepa eye kra chen asori no tem chen na say tansa na busua mienu ni be hia no say busua ne dididi wo ho nkomo ya sumo bi manakom sumo bi na obi so abaha na ya hwe se sa kwan ni nyina ya toto no ma nyina awi apart from so omo mienu na nkasa ehia no mo feel say omo to omo ho ase nti e wo say omo tokoso e ware na so omo do some pempen so a omo be start pre-marital counseling nti e hu hia
okay nti na say so for hwa said ya oka culture ne tete no opani bi wa ha na say ja bi wo no atimi hwe say opani asimesi ne ba said ya watete no a obetim aboana kra na akase ware ababa we na me ame pese me ware aba yo ye de ma
nti omo hwe esu ne ban no omo dom wasuko and so omo make a recommendation no what you tell us say recommendation no ni nyina gina ahweyie any some critical observations bi a omo aye ye pen so recommendations wo ho but say one ye critical observations na o ko recommend obi a na say buka ne simu a wodin beda so saa kopemta ma biase no ko na wiye me won le mecha no but ye janom no mo ye and they hardly got it wrong because omo ye nhwehwemu ko echire pa so bayo ene na ye nya time ye no o te me kai we university no edu ba bia Sundays yetumi call ye pon class e bia usually Thursdays Fridays classes no ni aka chachale weekend o won never be didi o ka se ye kokwa boys ni le hwe ma no munim nkwan ye no munim ebu o tumi ko san kwan no se wo kra wo ye o ti ase na we su gina nchen chese bi wo nkwan ahwehwe o ti ase and but ni na was a way to find out so anti empenifo no we mu nyina no mo ahwe obekọ ni na no those days not bo no nyam no coffee and na nyam bo kra no a o se kitchen o use blender no or blend or ye gas cooker or ye aduane on dem eche no penifo wo to be continue obi fie kwosra na danfo ye bibia o ko hwe sa no mani nyina o ka che o se fie a ye ware ho they would have looked at a lot of things maybe point in say we may be Gen Zs, but we should not take those things for granted.
Okay, all right. So for young and a youth, he said the yaba remu. Will be ha society ne pressure no. Now when you're now worrying, now you're now worrying, and the pressure na free waban in Tamaraka into a courtship and I said, well, could she be in the yen worry because be a family, maybe the society, church, and our friends. If it's over now, the money power.
On any day, when it is coming from the angle of pressure, it is bad.
Okay.
On any day, just say pressure bang, and I answer you doable. What you say? Abai we na mona de be attention so was be shana da ben now be worry. Da ben now be worry. Those pressure they are real. But and yet and one ti ena ye digina so e de ji oberima bia anasa oba bia tumu say ye be ware no on dem eche na say nte ye nsem yonu na meka yankasa ye wo single hono because single I mean, say we are single in itself, you know. And you're bonny. What I say, but one way over to me, up a pro one call. Our real relationship, we not call you bonny. Only a mechano. Aha, I think, say, yeah, pressure ne bias, you know. We must know what we want. So we need the ope. Now we need the ohe. Now we need saying tia, what's our principles now? You better dear. Sometimes we nipa, it will get to you, but who are reasons to now push them aside and still be focused and see what you want to do, so or what you want to have. And again, so I was for no. I think say a bit patient with them. Sometimes we coming from our phone no a bit me fi enuanom ho, a bit me fi nanfofo, a bit me fi asori no ho. Sometimes certain pronouncements people ye was sorry them will pop it so sa sorry penny for so be a wenya akwenya akọ pop it. So sometimes some utterances ni bi wo ho a it may the unnecessary pressure call singles e wa sorry no so mo koye mistakes and say omoye. And so we should not just be pushed into marriage relationship with people we have never dreamt of only because people are putting what we call pressure on us. And nuntina me kwa wari num de anhwe ya ubedi udokno kwa.
Wow. Okay. Na so for yenhwe say ebia uni obi wo ho. Mo motu anamon in courtship ni mu. Edru ba bia hu se asemesi a menene na me die emboa me. Kwan ben na wo be fa so na wetimi break yie a emfa wo how be amba in the course of relationship and as a courtship.
And I like that where question nearby, you know. Say kwan ben ni betumi aye ni yie. Ne kire say ya gye atomu sa ware we yekomu a emmoa yen. So memo example, for example, yehu say ebia wo ye AS. Ena girl no see AS. So chese sa AS no. Se mo kware a there is a 50% chance say mo be wo SS nkwala. Na ebia oba counseling no. Ebia me fan say mo mpo ma nwene ho ahyase no. Ba mo ba counseling no. Ena mo koye ye bisa ho asem. Ebi mpo na munim ana munim. Na ebia mo koye test na mo hu say that genetic pairing no e wo ho say wo ye AS ono so ye AS. So sorry, and because we counseling want to know. Counselor ni nim how a obemma mo options ni say ebia se mo toko so na mo ware a nsunsu anso betumi de abrewo awofo no mu nie mo frana mba wo mo nsu ni nie enti omo nkasa tenase no mo we a omo hunu said eni susu no etie to make us say yeah and the counselor knows how to separate them. I've had 2 occasions, as I said, and it was not easy. And I remember sometimes I have wept with them. Many almost so Bible they say only the osunsu, only the osrense, enti only me channel. But enye easy. Say home. Ebi so ho ade na part 1 no abrantie bi de ba o ka say red flags. Wo enough red flags a chere say aware we there say wo de wo hu kwhye mu a aha ye ka minimum obi a waba me office na bia yakọ counseling mu na counseling na ye no so of course me counselor me kan chere say ko ye A and B me de me chere wo eni so na won ka say we make you choice. And that's what every good counselor will do. What them tell say maybe akoso sa na bia want to make you option na aka nani one better ho pastor, that is why they say love is blind. Love is blind, but who said if love is blind then God is blind because God is love. What I say, so there is nothing like love is blind as so more when it down them can part 1 make us or being full be say so wo kwa ware be when me enu fa hwemu yie. What I say, so that nyame be boa wo eno ma bi a enhyɛ da mboa no betumi ehu. So those red flags, you know, no wo hu se wo be ma no ho ana wo ba no suban ne su ne ban bi a emmoa mu relationship ne da ache se empo okay part 1 akwa say o matena 10 years even po fu say watena 10 years na se mo betena afi say 10 years no wo fie na onu so woni fie o se mo de bo ani a so obi akọ ne fie na wakọ dwodwo mebo a ba we de mo te dan ba ko ase emu chance wa hye ho akomfo na se mo betena 30 years 40 years 60 years awarefo want to be for 10 years no and to sa de no nti wo enough red flags a kire say emwa bema no oba no bako must bring up the conversation what I saw say bako friend komo no say abcd na mehu ya mehu say emwa ye enti ma adwene misusu say anka yenko ye separate ways sometimes ne kan no adding ohun and sometimes na adding su gina eno ma ya ye wo relationship no ebia information we were about me miss me were about him and then put there what they hate social media no so and then Ghana and look at how journalists are betraying themselves say ebia na we ni we ye adwuma radio station we so ni we ye adwuma radio station we no more follow out now we are called radio station for so on the show for look at how they malign and demonize themselves what you say obi wo ho a ensem a won na kakukuo mu nyina wa behwie ni nyina egu abonte we don't need it in fact I just want to watch in the camera and tell them we don't need it ye here what you tell us say oye wadanfo no unim ab fa no ho say won ne betena ha anye anupo nye nyonko ye de kwa aware mu say they may have been best friends they may have been colleagues and omo ye tight wa adwumam keke na bibinti entokwa bomumu look at how they embarrass themselves with social media and so I say see afedie bia mpo eni hobio but that should not be enunti and it's all the back courtship aye kan mu a ese we ahwe yie se wo hu enema wo ensem a wo kan wo ye sure so ochira bi na se mu ni ho a some information a wo de ama no wo ye sure say obetumi akora so ana say sia na muntemu atete keke ni ntino oba behwie ni nyina egu abonte ana so you must find an amicable way of settling it e bi mpom betumi aba pani bi abamu na waboa mo matete mu say wo hu say mutumi tete mu a mu meya atamfo okay what them just mu meya atamfo I say afa mo patu ayaka dendende ba ku hia ba ku kra chia kra be den ni ade and then it say man fa kwan papa so break here and then the maybe the final one is obetumi akọ hu counselor bi na mwaka mo ha na kire na mu decision na kire no waboa mo ama mo break up it's very interesting how it works. I've had 2 occasions baako omo take a decision I had to help them separate and they are good. And I'm about so the idea and say, Pastor yen to me, boy any entity home. Maybe can we can if I some more and no man worry and they are living happily. So inti esi but you kwanye faswa ye can no betumi aye mo amu betumi am obi abebo am na so betumi akọ counselor bi hono abo am.
And na saade a hu behia se oni obi court a obi wo ho a otimi ka so ma ye nante na mum ye mpese obi abehu between ye mienu said e be o chine bi ankoye ya obi anka so asemesi enipa ni ana so na me ne gine ho bet na oni asemesi na menti eno no so is it okay say mo be sa
na ya adwene pa
okay
e adwene pa so me ka say adwene pa in the sense say you mean well say me make say all things being equal. So adwene boni we kire say bia o de mechechirem say bia obi wo wa say bia do bia me no nam na ye hia ye namfo no me mpese o mo behu say me girlfriend no na so boyfriend me because odo bia ni ho ene ye wo de odo ho so a to some extent you know monto mo bonye in public. I agree to that. So no na o kan ye no at this time ye sua ye ho. So we should be able to manage it. Ebedu baby no. Say yentumi ntrampo yentumi ntonko so say koya aware a obi abetumi because say I be PDF no say public display of affection abemu no. And no say one of the reasons why red flags no okra yentumi jai. So I know say one of the reasons say said obi enimi yin. Said obi enimi say next month to cry na ebe worry. And I say next year ebe worry na do say no. O feel say embarrassment any ade nti obe tikete o ma worry no akoso na afi akobu akomosimu. Enti sometimes no ye chance a yensusu so yensusu and I have had several experiences. So na boy ni yemu anka asori dan ho na mo nsa show mo nsem na mo kọ na nka ebia mo na mfo na obefe na fo no no ayewe against that be nyabotre slow down. So slow down. Oh edu baby no na or blackmail girl or person girl no feel say won do me intina wonye and you wura mu kakra na hu say bema wan kasa wo pe niam bebre ayet wo chen de wo kan intina ma girl no so ye etwentwen na ase ne the girl no didn't want it. So sometimes and I believe say most start here I mean take time, walk yourself into it. Ebedu time as I say mama individuals be aware no be aware ebedu baby no bon say wow nan fofo ankasa attitude pa no afi won mani ada ho wan a kire omo eno na wo some level of trust bi o e wo process no mu o ti ase bedu baby no afi na ma asori peninim sofo nim na e wo ho na mo guide mo kakra ebedu stage bi no na afi asori no kura nim na ebinum kura take you on by surprise ina we mu de da ben o ti ase ube mu se fisa abre no exactly sa time no mo kada ben no enche bi on be hu an say omo be hu home and family life for enye ya ni no so omo ko premarital counseling no omo de omo date aba na de say ekokoso na akoso sometimes it gets so beautiful so na mo de day one na acha ni 2 months yes we ejai na won say asori mu nso ni enim ye hu na we nim say we akwa if e bedu baby no obi aba no jale we obi ani na akobi wa ho ohun na no so akofo ha aba nti sanya adwene bone say we di bibi suma because we girls in be 3 and 4 and boys in be 3 and 4 nti na we yes adia enka ne papa mu a
and say ebeboam munina ebi a genuinely crowd be interested pass or no a good person ma umpa because of my no opinion nipa ni
wa twene ho mi wan so fa bi dem ye so enko wie hwe
okay so for ye couples a omo pese omo kwa aware mu kwan ben so no omo de courtship ne be prepare for marriage.
Well, I think say it gives them an opportunity. It gives them a platform to me, I warm myself into this holy institution. And being an American, Sabri we know, and the rules and regulations. Rules and regulations need this so, and that's what I term as healthy relationship. So healthy, devoid of a normal, and say ye. What I say. So ye hum fe I know ye and no be answer for ten say ye no and say ye on the meche no and na 6 years no so no parties are omo ye a major stakeholders no so one more so ye them ye aware and premarital counseling no so ashase premarital counseling no and say be di agro and na ye so asofo ne counselors are and maintaining it is a premarital counseling. We must be serious. We must know our content. We must know what your format, the formula you use to. What I say, on the few counseling room, on the con, say they have met with a professional, and that will be a onima de oye den oye. Ebe no ni aye and no maybe ni eja no maybe. Maybe ni ukofwa. I say, hey pastor, yeah, counsel ko women I auntie o. What I say, we must know what we want. I mean, what we want to share with the would-be couples. You know, as I say, a year official. What I say, and yes, betra wana concept be cancer sem kwana mo asori akọ ombe work akọ and let them go knowing something new and as a bibi e wo da dampo mu nim no wasa akaye omo asa hyemu kena amomo so a two-way premarital counseling very important.
Okay.
Ebinum di agro. What I say, time e be hye so omumra omumma ofro mu a onsan kan omo edu baby kura na counselor no kura wa paaba. What I say, na ha. And who say premarital counseling nsumu no. Ensem to me piepie o. Na say ye nim ye do be fa niam mu a, wo be hu se ye be du baby no. Na nkomo bi a ye di wo premarital counseling mundi ye. Wow. It's an opportunity for you to now have somebody who is trained to let you know or left from or right or near maybe mu. What me China say? And when here, ebinum so wa say ebe dead disano mu ye we pe no mu feel comfortable pe no person almost say counselor no. So into wo counselor na nkofo bi ba ho no. To be hu say time a the wo counselor be mu wo hu ni say time a omo aban ne time a omo ware no beba so na ben, which means no more start to baby it works our counselor no as I say woman a official how does it get official ubenya referral bi say bi aseme ohume e na woni me ye counseling no e na bi enkomo bi ye di bi ana say bi mpo a umpe me style no ana enkomo bi a ye du ba bi no u feel say mu pese mu open up enti mu pese mu change counselor na say be Pastor Jehoshaphat ena omode counseling na akoma no a one of the things ebetumi aboa no ye on her time no time no ma ba ne time aware because you started that adenti na ben sa adenti na mo pray mo ho aye ne ntem sa o to dem che na say ana say bi o maka no mo bi o man so ni ye ni pastor ni ma ko na ye nanso bibi nti men jintumu sa kachiro mo say ma pastor ni ma ko nye referral no pastor ni ma ko hu say me ho na mo ba nti pastor ni ma ko ene pastor Jehoshaphat on be di nkomo aka so nkofo na me ba ha ne ya akodu na me feel say abc di bi wo ho nti o ma ba ho no hwe say obi on betumi open up to you so nti premarital counseling no very very important ebie nyema bi so ema yesu ehunu ema enema bi ani da ho ma yen eboa ye ma yenya ye ho ntiase bi because your workbook ni ade nyina ye de yo so nanse na be fa workbook no mo about 8 major areas and 9 major areas so yen wie no wa kwa ware no na de mpaibo ka ho tum se wan gasa no why you ready for it nti here
counselors na kra so boa wa ware ni mu
pa
nti edru ba bi na mo hwa akosi se krofo me enu die omo ware a mo
you to be postponing po you to be postponing you wait to know what kase chale and come on ye die no munya mo ho ntiase sa die we mo anhwe na mo de kwa e bi challenge me the pastor me say me ne me ye two car no krone ye course ye ndu nkran po na ware no guye ye koya ware no me ne me ye two me ne ni di nkomo na me tie ni ye no e ye ntu car no pa medu nkran na ware no guye. Wow. So said that and counselors sometimes they see certain things. Don't make us say, yeah, slow down. Let's deal with this issue. But sometimes they are so fixated on the date, you know.
Save the date for
I say why you need to feel say no anti say the TB and pass am yenko ye ade chia this say na any experience ye be koso. E wo mum susu ampa de but one way here we ninje.
Na obi bisa say obetimi aware wa bra ontwempra na say woni obi enante
dangerous. Dangerous. Just on a good day make us say no. What I say? Obi a wunnim ne de wo ware ne sen. So you see there are a lot of people living now. Oma be ya ware fans, oma be friends. And a prayer no. You must be friends before you get married. No. Don't become friends after marriage. When you are friends before marriage, then you know each other. Munimo pa. What I say, munimo to a very large extent. aha inti de biara da no e very important say wobɛware wadamfo wobɛware obi a because wadamfo wo ware obi a wonnim no. How can you spend the rest of your life living under the same roof with obi a you barely know? What I say munhia obabia munheda ni mu ho te say moye virtually total strangers. Na mo say for better for worse. Ehu.
And then I said the okay part 1 ni mu say nka wonya de oni no wo school mu no a then the nam for some no ambetumi akwanti
wo bi
yeah
wo bi pa because we wo a say so obe fie kura na sometimes so kwosra na oni fie ba ko bi uhunu said o treating him mpo said o treating him no be treat you sa said o treating you anom mba no there's a higher possibility so be treat you sa said o treating you anom emema ne mba I mean vice versa no very very important it is a one tobo one we mu ina na ode o ye the Gen Z for etimi ko share restaurant cry a warrior koso sa abrofu yo mu ye ne sa na esi o mu yi ankeni
I said love at first sight
love at first sight npo na me suro kra no say me ye because the love as say me huna na me ye me share me ti ye dia ye me share ko ware on dem no we must be serious I mean that's to say the least we just must be serious with our rear. God should be proud of us. What I say, He should be proud of us. I say sometimes we take bia he krana wo worry and now person call krana usu.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, be your house. The mama worry na you hu.
And baby mama syndrome no is on the ascendancy. Obi wo person owoba. But on person ne be ma betra. What I say? Because of experiences bia wenya bia efie aware between papa and mama no e was said the tie mantem ho said awade for ye no e was said the tie ofa ha ko ofa ha ka nti aware kra no say aware ni nyina ni dia and e fenyam say met say single na me ntina baby ndwen me but you see even nyame say ne adobia say nyame ka say makohu obebi wo Bible num say heaven ye be san to aware so still nyame will be God to me say bia we ka say na nyame onye nyame bio because wasesa na adwen sa ade no nko do sesa na adwen a mepe na ke ko heaven en to so ko me am dwen wo say the heaven pan me hu me yire no twem na me ni din nye so sesa na be ye e bia bibi fufuro bi besi I'm missing no ember. Otherwise, and I think marriage is beautiful.
Okay, all right. In courtship, how long necessarily lasted before marriage?
Whoa. I mean, growing up, I've heard people say 6 months and all of that. They have several reasons. Omeka says 6 months. What I say, but I want to talk about me. Me cancophobia reasons near there. Say me. Ebano say me counseling now, premarital counseling. I am not too much keen on the 6 months, 10 months. No, me the any sessions. Say as I say, me know yes 7 sessions, 8 sessions, and I met me cover more expectations because in counseling no, maybe some more expectations. Say mobile counseling, and then and more say be the home come. What I say. Say ye ni nyina wi say me mo set goals no me de e bi kan na de never say bia e be take me 8 sessions. Once I'm done with the 8 sessions I'm done. Say 8 sessions me to me I ni nyina within 2 months. Maybe the stuff for me as an expert, that's my thinking. I mean I don't know why it's 6 months. Say if we have had enough time to deal with the issues. If I 6 months are fine. If I 3 months are fine. If I 1 month are fine. So in your time, you have to say, near doso muno is what is important to me. And that's my opinion.
Okay. Is it and one say a befana to say?
Sure. Ombe hunu, there is all muno no. No your time. Atina say aqua for me that's more important. Do I be say 6 months in the area say or banning yama. Na always CID. Yami CID.
You just need saying fancy.
Not who has on him saying. I'm not trivializing it. Maybe me trivialize. Maybe me just say important. But maybe me just say, why would I think say me person me so banning him in Tiana 6 months? I don't think I'm too much interested in that. Because in counseling, no bar, me nobody sound common in so me feel say a big issue for me. Let me mama a pregnancy test.
Okay.
If me feel say that is where my interest is, and there is a way to do it. Why should I wait 6 months? What I say? It be do baby kwa no ma bre.
Okay, now, Pastor, in courtship, you know, will be how was you? Me na 2 years, 3 years, because me perceive me share subain bi me share say obesesa me man break a crash so obesesa. Nti ye share need specific years and a month ushia obi say onene namwa. Say mudi answer akwaware no.
So the most important thing is say unnim no. Anything expert is say at least 2 years a day. You would have known enough of the person. Here even in court. Where we now so call court or register no. You to me about 21 days me boy.
Yeah.
21 days no. O de ko ball down. Baby a ote. Ni penyin anim say ho na ote. Mo de akobobo ho. Omo nim say anya de. So within that 21 days no. Say what say one no you know it's enough time to verify say we maybe I remember feel maybe hunu maka say na you abante na one nam no call worry what time tell even that one no only 3 weeks na here say for to be what 21 days there enough for be to know say no one why whistle blower what I say why whistle blower say hey ko ye we wo na even that it say wunim ade hu bibi no ehia okay. It even in court, one person more establish it. It will also at least use 2 years for establish it. But the exceptions even the exceptions go be more kowari manafa. But men fan to chacha.
All right. Wow. Not just say and then so for one my probably brave. I have control social no I be trapa. And see my member also as a software and now coffee ni marco. In your courtship with your wife, you know, and yeah, Nancy before marriage, you know, at the end of course, so a boy and the amboa, my personal experience, kaka.
So for example, when I finally proposed, no UK. So later on, no, she would come. Meme watakwa, onu efijasi. What I say? So most of the times, you know, it was through phone, near prepare near there. And when time is soon, obeba for you counselor with Pastor CM. Inti oba ha. No woman ma me ho. Na meet mission house. Me nkwaji jimani. What I do no to mission or no to me ma me mu fie. Na meet mission house. Inti oba na say counselor ni we at that time na me ni car na Pastor CM. Then the car mama na me na ko si wo ma me ho. Sa na edi we no koi eni so hia o ti asenti e kon me twa 7 kakra me twa na di komo na ehwe how far dey ade o ti me tell say it was very very intentional and I remember say those days because me kofia me ndam me dem ho o ti say like me ndam me dem ho because I no better then I'll move to another room near there. Just say everything possible be because petrol ni eja there. O jejeje ani mo ahifie no. What am I saying? Exactly. So you just have to be intentional to make sure say no maybe NCC wo mu ababe cloudy ade a moye no.
Okay. Nti ne krakra mu no efutu obe na ade be ma embebunu ebia waya na wetu anamon so opese owura courtship mu ana se we hu oba bi be ma bi opese woni ni tu anamon sabre ye wia so why sofo na ne girls ne boys ya na me we futu a de be ma so
one enye aprepre
okay
enye aprepre ambotre what you say na sesi anumpo even getting together no kra na ya din because my man feel say man demanded do as ye nyina ye school for de bia se me koto bibi ma de bia se me ko yese o de me cheno sa no mani nyina mmoa ema we na me ti wo boy no ko hwe girl no school aye den enhwe no school mentua ne school fees oba men ko hwe be man tua ne school fees ana ko wie meka se ende say ye we na bebrede om ko akọwo fom so aha but e bia enfa ne say oh je 100 cedis if so school fees so de ende ye normal but say what dia to say oh ye be ma kwan akofie abai wo na wo betua school fees no na be ye odadwene de dabi o de ebre ne so a wo kwa ma yenko bubu sika wo wiase na mfengu so eno ko betumi adia no na farmer na wa fa na o de ko o te ko papa no ntena se nware ne ba o de me chelo ena ahweyi no very important but ye nwo principles ye unya ngina so bi a mede je oba we atum mede je be me we atum mama ni ye feelings na dose dodo so feelings na dose too much so and sometimes even on social media obi hu say abayiwa bi ni abrante bi aye we na almost three abayiwa nse ne ho yefe almost three be man nse ne ho yefe because no mo hwe looks what am I trying to say but our real goes beyond just the looks optics in there wo but suban no eno so hia eno so yasemba ko a meka kire eye emrante na premarital counseling no memo mo fa ni agro so almost starting po a omo fa ni serious na omo fa enwie empire body memo mo nja na chida bibia mo ho mpaye aware ni stage bia ekobia no omo ho mpaye omo fa nhye pa ebe na mfo ko yesika sembebre o de me che no I say here 10 billion ansa na etumi aware ene enema kesi kokoti opeso otumi ko spread ko spray ska egu won so ne ade chenchene bi o tem chance acha 30 minutes na aware na egu na yekoya na ye bae
eno de bonus anka wo de be kan
what you say the moderate bi ma ye ne ma ashaw na onyam kama on be pem baby atena musika aka na makoso adi ni saa
ye pe hashtag
ni nyina nka ye de but se wan ya ahusiesie pa mfa nkwa saa hashtag wa ko delete ni nyina adache ba ye pe de o de begu a unko delete ba o de bi o wa ko he na ma fond memories
all right wow so for da se bebre na me sha wo futuo ni adesua so
o boy djuma papa ya me sha
amai da se pi na ye se anamontintin bia wie wa aboboa no ha na ye de ye nkomo twetwe no ebesi wo so for Nana Kofi ni maako aha wono chaplain for public campus ministry was Southern Ghana Union Conference SDR sorry nimo and the Harvesters Online Network, the Harvesters Online Network. Inya anwa and then edi enkomo. Inya edi nkomo ni di edi kan part 1 and nti ubetimi akwa akohwe na wetie futu a wode man ne adusua so nkwa yesua na afi wode wenso so ede aka ho bi production crew ni nyina nso so meda wo mo ase ata osofo draw na afi reaching nso so eboa ye ma edi ewie ye frame oba pa adwoa adopia ebesen hia da foforo makram